The atmosphere at the dinner table was tense. My mother placed a stalk of celery in my bowl. Eat up. The opening ceremony is tomorrow. You need to keep your strength up. I silently pushed the celery to the side. I don't like celery. My mother's face darkened. You have to give the freshman representative speech in a few days. You can't afford to be unwell for such an important event. My cousin, Linyu, spoke softly. She's just looking out for you, sis. Giving the freshman speech is such an honor. The whole family is counting on you to make us proud, she said, her words full of admiration, but she couldn't hide the jealousy in her eyes. In my last life, that freshman speech was the beginning of my nightmare. When I didn't respond, my mother's voice jumped an octave. I'm talking to you. Have you gone mute? Have you memorized your speech for tomorrow? Don't you dare get up on that stage and embarrass us. My father couldn't take it anymore and frowned. That's enough. Let the girl eat in peace. My mother immediately turned on my father. What do you know? I'm pushing her to be better. She's the center of attention for the whole school now. She can't afford a single misstep. Sis, I heard your school has a spot for an exchange student to go abroad this year. They're choosing from the freshman class, and the requirements are really high, Linyu mentioned, as if in passing. My mother took the bait. An exchange student? To what country? I think it's America. Tuition and living expenses are hundreds of thousands a year, all covered by the school. The moment she heard hundreds of thousands, my mother's eyes lit up, a flash of greed and calculation passing through them. My aunt gasped. Such an amazing opportunity? Our Nyen has to be the one to go. Her grades are so good, and she's the freshman representative. It's a sure thing. A flicker of pride crossed my mother's face, but she quickly frowned again. Her? Look at her, so sickly. A strong gust of wind could knock her over. What if she gets sick abroad with no one to take care of her? Linyu immediately chimed in. It's true, sis has never been very healthy. She's been getting sick since we were kids. The competition for this spot must be fierce. I'm afraid her body won't be able to handle the stress. I watched them play off each other, laughing coldly to myself. In my last life, I pulled countless all-nighters for that exchange student spot. But because of the scene my mother made at school, I lost my eligibility completely. And Linyu, thanks to my aunt going around crying poor and telling a sob story, actually managed to snag the spot after I was disqualified. This time, I wouldn't let them succeed. Mom, I don't want to compete for that spot. It's too much work. I just want to focus on college. My mother was stunned. My aunt and Linyu exchanged a surprised glance. My mother eyed me suspiciously. Are you serious? You'd give up such a great opportunity? Are you trying to pull something on me again? No, I just don't think my body can handle it. Linyu is right. I'm afraid I won't be able to take the strain. I deliberately feigned weakness, turning the attention to Linyu. Watching the mother and daughter duo scheme so smugly, I sneered inwardly. This was only the first step. Let them fight for it themselves. The harder they fight, the harder they'll fall. Linyu quickly waved her hands in dismissal. Sis, that's not what I meant. But my mother cut her off, a calculating glint in her eye. Well, if Nyen isn't going for it, we can't let this opportunity go to waste. Tomorrow, we'll go find Nyen's academic advisor and have a little chat. My aunt's eyes lit up. Will that work? Why wouldn't it? My mother said, full of confidence. Nyen is the freshman representative. The teachers must think highly of her. We'll have her tell the teacher that she's not well enough and wants to voluntarily give the opportunity to her cousin. The teacher will see how sensible she is and will surely agree. A blush crept onto Linyu's face, and she clenched her fists in excitement. My father, listening from the side, furrowed his brow. What is this? This is nonsense. My mother shot him a glare. You shut up. You don't get a say in this house. She looked at me and said in a commanding tone, after your speech tomorrow, you will take us to your advisor. Do you hear me? I nodded. I understand, Mom. Late that night, my mother came into my room carrying a bowl of soup. Drink this calming soup. It'll help with your nerves tomorrow. It was exactly the same as in my last life. In my last life, after drinking this soup, I felt drowsy and groggy every day. It just gave my mother more reason to say I was too weak. I took the bowl and drank it all down obediently. Thanks, Mom. My mother watched me with satisfaction. As soon as she left the room, I went straight to the bathroom and threw it all up. Then, I went into her bedroom. From her nightstand, I took out the bottle of birth control pills she always took. I skillfully popped out the pills inside and replaced them with the vitamins I had prepared. Mom, you always said I was your pride and joy, didn't you? This time, I'm going to let you experience for yourself what it feels like to fall from the clouds into the abyss. The opening ceremony. The auditorium was packed. I took a deep breath, my heart a void of dead silence. It was my turn. I could clearly see my mom, my aunt, and Lin Yu sitting in the front row. Their gazes were like three sharp swords, pinned on me. Respected leaders, teachers, and dear fellow students. I began to speak, my voice clear and steady. None of the nervousness and trembling from my past life. A round of applause rose from the audience. As my speech concluded, I followed protocol and bowed to the students and faculty in thanks. The moment I straightened up, a figure suddenly rushed onto the stage from the audience. It was my mom. She snatched the microphone from my hand, so fast that no one had time to react. The entire hall fell silent in an instant. All eyes were on the stage, on my mom. Unlike in my past life, I didn't feel a chill run down my spine. Instead, my heart began to pound wildly, not from fear, but from excitement. The suffocating feeling of being condemned by all in my past life flashed through my mind. I couldn't help it. I turned to the stunned crowd and gave them an unsettling, expectant smile. The show was finally about to begin. She raised the microphone, her voice shrill and choked with sobs. Mr. Principal. All the teachers. I'm begging you, please revoke my daughter's privilege to speak. Her words were like a bomb, detonating in the auditorium. An uproar erupted from the audience. I stood my ground, watching her performance with great interest. She's not worthy. She doesn't deserve to be standing here. She's not at all who you think she is, she shrieked hysterically. She's promiscuous. At her young age, she went and got herself pregnant. Just so she could come to this school, she had an abortion at the hospital a few days ago. She's incredibly weak right now. The doctor said she needs bed rest, and I'm terrified she'll collapse on stage from standing too long. The hall was dead silent. Every single gaze shifted from my mother to me. I saw the principal's face turn ashen. The teachers were whispering amongst themselves, a murmur spreading through their ranks. I was wondering why she looked so pale. So she just had surgery. You'd never know. A student with such good grades, living a life like that. Lin Yu ran to my side, supporting me with a look of deep concern. Sister, are you okay? You look so pale. Quick, let's get you off the stage so you can rest. Her voice wasn't loud, but it seemed to confirm my mother's words, that I was truly frail. I pushed her away. I looked at the woman still putting on a tearful performance on the stage. My own mother. She was still wailing. I'm only doing this for her own good. Would I, her own mother, ever do anything to hurt my daughter? She's just too stubborn, but her health is what's most important. I was afraid she'd ruin her body, that she wouldn't be able to have children in the future. That's why I had to resort to this. Such great motherly love. Willing to destroy her daughter's reputation in front of thousands, all for the sake of her health. I laughed out loud. My mom turned, looking at me, stunned. What are you laughing at? I walked toward her, step by step. I took the microphone back from her hand. Mom. My voice wasn't loud, but it carried through the microphone, clear across the entire auditorium. Are you finished? My mom was stunned by my reaction. She stared at me blankly, speechless. I ignored her and turned to the school administrators in the audience. I bowed deeply. I'm sorry, Mr. Principal, and all the teachers present. I apologize to everyone for disrupting the opening ceremony with my family matters. My tone was calm. The principal's expression softened slightly. Young lady, you. I cut him off. Regarding what my mother just said, I would like to make a clarification. I turned to face the entire student body and faculty. First, I am not pregnant, and I have certainly never had an abortion. Second, my personal life is clean. With that, I looked at my mom. Mom, I know you think you're doing this for my own good. You want me to get the spot in the exchange student program, but you're also worried about my health, afraid I'll work too hard. So you came up with this method to make the school think I have poor moral character and disqualify me. And then, you'd have my cousin, Linyu, who is just as excellent a student and in perfect health, take my place. Am I right? The moment I finished speaking, the color drained from Linyu's face. My aunt panicked too, waving her hands frantically. What nonsense are you spouting, child? We did no such thing. My mom's expression was absolutely livid. She never expected I would expose her in front of everyone. She trembled with rage, pointing at me. You ungrateful daughter. After all the hardship I went through to raise you, this is how you slander me? She started crying again, her performance utterly convincing. How did I raise such an ingrate? Every word I said is the truth. I dare you to go to a hospital and get checked. She was trying to force my hand. Forcing me to prove my own innocence to wash away the filth she'd thrown at me. No matter the outcome, the fact that I had been accused was now set in stone. The rumors and gossip would follow me forever. In my past life, this was how she had cornered me, leaving me with nowhere to turn. To quell the controversy, the school advised me to withdraw. And she, only when I was at my breaking point, offered a reluctant apology. I only meant well. Who knew they would actually believe it? I raised the microphone and spoke to everyone in the audience. I can go to a hospital and prove my innocence. But before I do, I'd like everyone to watch a video first. As I spoke, I took out my phone and connected it to the large screen in the auditorium. On the screen, my mom, my aunt, and Linyu were sitting on a sofa. So it's settled. Tomorrow, your aunt, little you, and I will go to the school together. Little Nien is the freshman representative, so the teachers must think highly of her. We'll have her tell the teachers that she's not in good health and wants to voluntarily give the opportunity to her cousin. The teachers will see how sensible she is and will surely agree. Once again, a dead silence fell over the auditorium. Everyone stared at the screen, dumbfounded. My mom froze on the spot as if she'd been struck by lightning. She pointed at me, unable to utter a single word. You. Linyu was so scared she had already collapsed to the floor. My aunt simply shrieked. You recorded us. You secretly recorded us. I turned off the video and put my phone away. I just have a habit of recording moments from my life. I looked at my mom. Mom, now, do you still want me to go to the hospital for an examination? Or, perhaps we should call the police first and have them determine if this public defamation and false accusation constitutes slander? My mom's body swayed, nearly collapsing. Her entire facade had been torn to shreds by me in front of everyone. A wave of murmurs rose from the audience. Oh my God, is that her biological mother? To ruin her own daughter just so her niece could take her place? That cousin is no good either. So manipulative. Looking at my mother's face, I felt no sense of satisfaction. Just then, a few school security guards rushed onto the stage. Ma'am, you all need to leave immediately. My mom, held by the security guards, was still screaming at me hysterically. I'm your mother. You can't do this to me. You'll regret this. You will definitely regret this. My aunt and Linyu were also dragged away from the scene. The farce was finally over. The principal walked over to me and patted my shoulder. Young lady, you've been wronged. The school will make sure you receive justice. Thank you, Mr. Principal. Holding my speech, I walked off the stage. I had just stepped out of the auditorium when someone blocked my path. It was Shinzhou, my ex-boyfriend. His face was ashen as he seized my wrist. Lun Yan, are you out of your mind? He had reacted the same way in my past life. Only then, his eyes held disdain and avoidance, now, they held anger. I watched him quietly, saying nothing. That's your mother. Even if she was in the wrong, you can't humiliate her in front of the whole school like that. Have you ever thought about my feelings? What will people think of me? What will they say about me having a girlfriend who schemes against her own mother? All he ever cared about was his own pride. I laughed. Girlfriend? I wrenched my hand free, then raised it, and with all my might, I slapped him hard across the face. Crack. The crisp sound made every student walking by stop in their tracks. Shinjo, who the hell do you think you are to meddle in my family's business? I pointed at him, enunciating every word. Don't think everyone gives a damn about that pretentious face of yours. Get lost. From now on, you're dumped. Stay out of my sight, or I'll hit you every single time I see you. Shinjo clutched his face, completely stunned. The pointing and whispering from the crowd made his face flash from white to red. You're impossible. I didn't spare him another glance. I turned and walked away, blocking and deleting him in one smooth motion. My life needed a hard reset, and the first step was taking out the trash. When I got home, the place was a mess. My dad was on the sofa, chain-smoking. When he saw me, he stubbed out his cigarette. Your mother, she's locked herself in her room. Hasn't eaten all day. His voice was weary and helpless. I didn't react, just started toward my own room. Nyen, my dad called out. Was there some kind of misunderstanding in all this? Your mom, she might not always think before she speaks or acts, but she has a good heart. I'm sure she was just trying to do what's best for you. There it was again. What's best for me? What's best for me is accusing me of getting pregnant and having an abortion in front of thousands of people. Giving my opportunity to someone else, even if it meant destroying my reputation? Dad, if that's your idea of what's best for me, then I'd rather not have it. My words left my dad speechless. Finally, he sighed. She's still your mother. Right. She's my mother. I laughed at myself. So everything she does is right, and I just have to take it. Is that it? I ignored him, went into my room, and locked the door. The next morning, I was woken by a frantic pounding on my door. Lu Nyen. Get your ass out here. I opened the door, and a hand immediately cracked across my face. The sting was sharp and hot. You animal. Were you born just to be my curse? How could I have given birth to such an ungrateful wretch? You've ruined everything for me. I hope you die a horrible death. She tore at my hair frantically, screaming the most vicious curses at me. How could I have a heartless creature like you for a daughter? You plotted against your own mother for one stupid student exchange spot. Let me tell you, as long as I'm alive, you can forget about ever getting that spot. My dad and my aunt rushed in. They pulled my mom off me, but she kept screaming curses. I held my cheek, silent. I just stared at her coldly. Lin Yu ran over, her voice dripping with false sympathy. Don't blame Auntie, big sister. She's just not thinking straight. It's all my fault. If I hadn't brought up the student exchange program, none of this would have happened. She started crying as she spoke, putting on a pitiful act. I looked at her and suddenly smiled. Is that so? Then you can still back out. Lin Yu's crying stopped short, and a flicker of panic crossed her face. My aunt immediately shoved me. Stop bullying people. Why should you back out? Your mother's right. An ungrateful daughter like you doesn't deserve to go. My mom chimed in. Exactly. She doesn't deserve it. That spot has to go to you. I'll go back and beg them. I'll make them give the spot to you. As she said it, she actually started to rush for the door. My dad finally snapped, roaring, That's enough, damn it. Haven't you made enough of a scene? Look at yourself. What have you become? His shouting stunned my mother for a second, and then she began to wail even louder. You're yelling at me? You're yelling at me for this ungrateful child? Fine. The two of you can just team up and bully me. What's the point of me even living anymore? I don't want to live. She cried and screamed as she ran to the window, making a show of wanting to jump. The house erupted into chaos. My dad and aunt scrambled to pull her back. I just stood where I was, a cold spectator to the whole farce. Just then, my mother suddenly stopped. She clutched her stomach, her face pale. Oh, my stomach hurts, cold sweat beaded on her forehead, her expression twisted in pain. My aunt panicked. Sis, what's wrong? Don't scare me. My mother's voice was weak. I don't know, It's just this sharp, twisting pain. My dad was getting frantic, too. Quick. Call an ambulance. My aunt fumbled for her phone. I watched my mother's pain display without a ripple of emotion. Based on when I secretly switched her medicine, it had been about 2 weeks. My mom was still moaning, wondering if she'd eaten something bad. My aunt guessed along with her. Maybe it's a stomach spasm from not eating last night? My dad urged them on. Stop guessing. Just call 911. I walked over slowly and crouched in front of my mother. Mom, have you been feeling especially tired lately? And also, have you been feeling nauseous, like you want to throw up? My mom froze, staring at me. How did you know? I smiled and took out my phone. Because I haven't been feeling too well myself. Why don't we go to the hospital together and get it checked out? I didn't dial 911. I dialed another number, one I had saved long ago. The call connected quickly. I put it on speaker. A booming male voice came from the phone. Hello? Who is this? The moment my mother heard that voice, her body jolted violently. She stared at me, her eyes filled with terror and disbelief. You. The man on the other end of the line was my mom's first love, Uncle Wang. My dad's face instantly darkened. Lun Yan, who are you calling? I didn't answer him, just watched my mom quietly. When Uncle Wang on the other end didn't get a response, he asked again. Hello? Say something. Who is this? My mom's body began to tremble uncontrollably. She tried to grab my phone, but the pain in her stomach left her completely weak. Hang up the phone, she rasped. I gave a small smile. Mom, isn't your stomach hurting? Uncle Wang is a doctor. Isn't it perfect to have him take a look? Uncle Wang was a well-known OB/GYN specialist in the city. All our relatives knew this. My aunt's expression changed too, her gaze on my mom complicated. I spoke into the phone. Uncle Wang, hello, this is Lun Yan. Oh, Nyan Nyan. Do you need something? Yes, my mom isn't feeling well. I was hoping you could take a look, I said casually. She's been feeling nauseous lately, and her stomach hurts. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds. His professional instincts as an OB/GYN made him realize something instantly. Your mother, when was her last menstrual period? As soon as the question was asked, the air in the room seemed to freeze. My dad stared intently at my mom's stomach. You, tell me, what the hell is going on? The color had drained from my mom's lips. She glared at me, her eyes looking like they could eat me alive. But the fear in the depths of her eyes betrayed her. She was scared. Scared that the secret she'd hidden for more than a decade would be exposed just like this. Seeing my mom silent, I kindly reminded her, Mom, Uncle Wang is asking you a question. My mom trembled, unable to utter a single word. Seeing this, my aunt quickly tried to smooth things over. Dr. Wang, my sister just has an upset stomach. It's nothing serious, we won't trouble you. As she spoke, she reached for my phone. I dodged slightly, avoiding her hand. Auntie, my mom's health is what's important. Uncle Wang is a specialist. We'll only feel at ease once he's diagnosed her. I once again held the phone to my mom's lips. Mom, say something. Under my intense gaze, my mom finally broke down. She shoved me away and screamed at me hysterically. What the hell are you trying to do? Are you trying to drive me to my death? The movement made the pain in her stomach even worse. She curled up on the floor, groaning in pain. My dad's expression was beyond awful. He walked over to my mom step by step and looked down at her. You'd better give me an explanation. His voice was as cold as ice. My mom was in too much pain to speak, only shaking her head frantically. I watched this scene, my heart as calm as still water. I hung up the phone and then dialed 911. The ambulance arrived quickly. The paramedics lifted my mom onto a stretcher. My dad didn't look at her once the entire time. My aunt and Lin Yu went with them to the hospital. That night, my dad came home. He'd had a lot to drink and reeked of alcohol. Are the results in? He nodded, his voice hoarse. Pregnant. An ectopic pregnancy. He lifted his head, his bloodshot eyes meeting mine. The baby is his. I wasn't surprised. In my past life, after I died, my mom got sick too. It was an ectopic pregnancy that ruptured. She almost didn't make it. Back then, I just thought it was karma for all the evil she'd done. It wasn't until after I was reborn that I pieced it all together. My mom and Uncle Wang had never broken off contact. Why? My dad clutched his hair in anguish. What did I ever do to deserve this? After all these years, I gave her my whole heart. Why would she do this to me? I didn't answer him. Because I didn't know the answer either. Perhaps not being in love is the original sin. Lun Yen. You already knew, didn't you? I remained silent. He gave a self-deprecating laugh. Yeah. I'm such an idiot. You all knew. I was the only one kept in the dark, like a fool. He picked up the liquor bottle from the table and went to take another swig. I stopped his hand. Dad, don't drink anymore. You still have me. He looked at me, and tears streamed down his face. A man nearing 50, crying like a child. From this day forward, our family was well and truly broken. My mom's surgery was a success. But she was completely broken. She lay in the hospital bed, her eyes vacant. When she saw me, she didn't react at all. My aunt saw me and looked a little awkward. Your mom, she's in a bad mood. Don't take it to heart. I nodded and set down the fruit basket I was holding. I walked to the side of the bed and looked at my mom. Mom, how are you feeling? She still ignored me. I didn't care and just kept talking. Dad already knows. He's planning to divorce you. My mom's body jolted. She finally turned her head and glared at me, her eyes filled with venomous hatred. It was you. This is all your fault. You're a jinx. Ever since you were born, I haven't had a single good day. I regret not strangling you to death at birth. My aunt jumped, quickly covering my mom's mouth. Sis. What are you talking about? My mom struggled, trying to keep cursing at me. I watched her coldly. Go on and curse. It's not like you'll have many more chances anyway. Dad already had a lawyer draw up the divorce papers. The house, the cars, the savings, you won't get a single penny. Because you're at fault for cheating on him. My mom's eyes grew even wider. She couldn't believe that the man who had always doted on her could be so ruthless. Impossible. He wouldn't dare. He loves me so much, he would never do this to me. She seemed to be trying to convince me, and maybe herself. I took out my phone and played a recording. It was Dad, last night, speaking the truth while drunk. At the end, he said, I really want to kill her. When the recording finished, my mom fell completely silent. All the color drained from her face. Auntie, I'd advise you to start making plans as well. What do you mean? They're auditing the books at Dad's company. I heard someone's been using their position to embezzle a good amount of company funds. And that someone seems to be Uncle. I had helped Dad with the company books in my past life. I knew exactly where all the holes were. My aunt's face instantly darkened. You. Don't you dare make such vile accusations. I didn't say a thing. I'm just reminding you that in turbulent times, it's best to be careful. With that said, I ignored them and turned to leave the hospital room. When I got back to school, my academic advisor found me. He told me that after some discussion, the school had decided to redo the selection process for the exchange student spots. It would be fair, just, and transparent. As I walked out of the office, I ran into Linyu. When she saw me, she averted her gaze and tried to walk around me. I stopped her. Linyu. She stopped and forced a smile. Sister. My mom's in the hospital. Aren't you going to visit her? I've been too busy with my studies lately. Is that so? I walked up to her, staring her down. Because I heard you've been busy going on dates with Shinjo. Linyu's face instantly flushed crimson. You're lying. We're just friends. Just friends? I laughed, not bothering to press the issue. Fine. I wish you two happiness. I tossed that line out and walked past her. I knew she and Shinjo were just using each other. As for me, I had more important things to do. The selection for the exchange program began. On the day of the written exam, I saw Linyu. She was wearing a white dress, looking pure and innocent. Seeing me, she even greeted me first. "Sister, you're here too." She looked me up and down, the corner of her mouth curling into a contemptuous smile. But then again, an opportunity like this should be about fair competition. Not like for some people, with all that trouble at home, who knows if the judges will hold it against them. Her tone carried a subtle hint of provocation. I ignored her and walked straight into the examination hall. In my last life, I had prepared for this exam for a long time. I knew every concept like the back of my hand. This time around, it was a piece of cake. When the written exam scores came out, I took first place without any suspense. Linyu ranked fifth, barely making it to the interview round. On the day of the interview, we were assigned to the same group. There were 3 interviewers, our dean and 2 foreign professors. Linyu went before me. She gave a brilliant self-introduction in fluent English. She spoke of her humble background, of how she overcame hardships to study diligently, and of her longing to attend a prestigious university abroad. It was so emotional and expressive she almost moved herself to tears. The 2 foreign professors were clearly moved by her story. The dean also nodded in satisfaction. Then it was my turn. My self-introduction was simple. I only stated my name, my major, and my grades. No sob story, no melodrama. The dean seemed a little disappointed. One of the foreign professors asked a question. "Miss Liu, we see your written exam score is outstanding. However, we believe an excellent exchange student needs not only exceptional grades but also strong psychological fortitude and adaptability. Do you believe you possess these qualities?" This question was clearly aimed at the mess going on with my family. I figured Linyu had been busy badmouthing me behind my back. I looked at him and answered, calm and composed. "I believe I do. Because I have experienced despair, and I have overcome it. Nothing can temper a person's will more than dying once." My words left the 3 interviewers stunned. I didn't explain. I just looked at them calmly. I knew they would investigate. And the results of that investigation would only work in my favor. After the interview, I ran into Linyu in the hallway. She looked at me smugly. "Sister, I think I did pretty well this time. Who do you think the school will choose?" I looked at her hypocritical face and found it almost funny. "What do you think?" The results came out soon after. The final list of selected students was posted on the school's official website. I was reading in the library when I saw the list. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Linyu. A screenshot. The official announcement from the website. "On what grounds?" I texted back 2 words. "On mine." Then, I blocked her. I thought that would be the end of it. But I should have known Linyu wouldn't give up. She showed up at my dad's company. She wanted him to go to the school and get me to give the spot to her. Instead, she was thrown out by my dad's security guards. Because my uncle's embezzlement had been exposed. With both witnesses and physical evidence, he'd already been taken in by the police. My aunt went to the company and made a huge scene, claiming my dad had framed him. My dad sent a lawyer's letter straight to her house, suing her for slander. That shut my aunt up for good. As for my mom, she'd been living at my aunt's place ever since she got out of the hospital. She didn't dare come home, and she didn't dare face my dad. I heard she'd used all her savings to hire a lawyer for my uncle. It didn't do any good, of course. The amount he embezzled was huge, jail time was unavoidable. That family was completely ruined. I finished all the paperwork and was getting ready to go abroad. The day before I was set to leave, I got an unexpected phone call. It was from Uncle Wang. He asked to meet. We met at a coffee shop. Uncle Wang looked much more haggard than the last time I'd seen him. He just sat there, looking at me quietly. "You look so much like your mother," he said, his voice a little hoarse. I didn't say anything. He gave a bitter smile. "I know you hate her. And you hate me." I admitted it without hesitation. "Yes. I hate you both. I hate how your selfishness destroyed 2 families." He was silent for a long time before he finally spoke. What happened back then was my fault. I never should have gotten entangled with her again after she was married. I thought we were just friends. Friends? I scoffed. The kind of friends who sleep together? I didn't pull any punches. The color drained from his face. I'm sorry. I know it's too late to say anything now. I didn't ask you here today to beg for your forgiveness. I just wanted to tell you some things. He said that back then, he and my mom were truly in love. But his family was poor, and my grandparents were dead set against it. They even threatened to disown my mother. With no other choice, she married my dad. After getting married, she was never happy. Until, later on, she ran into him again. Old flames rekindled, and things quickly spiraled out of control. She told me she didn't love your father. That being with him was suffocating, that it was agony. She said you were her only hope. Hope? I said, as if I'd just heard the biggest joke in the world. The hope of being used as a tool to scheme against others? The hope of being used as a bargaining chip to get what she wants. If that's what she calls hope, then I'd rather she never had any hope at all. Uncle Wang closed his eyes in pain. Nyen Nyen, I know she did a lot of wrong things. But she really does love you. She just had the wrong way of showing it. Loves me? Is loving me dragging my name through the mud? Is loving me being willing to ruin my life for her own selfish desires? Uncle Wang, you have a daughter of your own. If your daughter went through the same thing I did, would you still be sitting here, making excuses for her mother? That left him completely speechless. Exactly. You never know how much it hurts until the needle's piercing your own skin. He thought he knew my mother so well. In reality, he didn't know anything. He didn't know how controlling she was. How terrifying her vanity was. And he certainly didn't know that she'd stop at nothing to get what she wanted. Her so-called love was cheap and laughable. There's one more thing I came for today. Uncle Wang took a bank card out of his bag and pushed it across the table to me. There's some money in here. It's not much. Consider it compensation from me to you. I looked at the card, not moving. I don't need it. I know you don't. But this is from your mother. She asked me to give it to you. I froze for a second. She said she's sorry. She said that in her entire life, the person she has wronged the most is you. She wants you to take this money, live a good life abroad, and never come back. Looking at him, I suddenly understood. This wasn't compensation. It was hush money. She was scared. Scared I'd air all her dirty laundry. Scared she'd lose her last shred of dignity. How pathetic. Even now, all she could think about was herself. I picked up the card. Just as Uncle Wang thought I was going to accept it, I snapped it in two, right in front of him. Then I tossed the pieces into the nearby trash can. Tell her. The game is just beginning. I'm not letting this go. I walked out of the coffee shop without looking back. I didn't go home. I went to my aunt's place. I knocked on the door. Lin Yu answered. When she saw me, she looked like she'd seen a ghost. You, what are you doing here? She looked awful, with heavy dark circles under her eyes, completely lacking her usual energy. I ignored her and walked straight in. The apartment was small and messy. My aunt was sitting on the sofa, sighing. Seeing me, she froze for a moment, then shot to her feet. What are you doing here? You're not welcome. My mom came out of a bedroom. She was in her pajamas, her hair a mess, her eyes vacant. When she saw me, it was like something snapped, and she suddenly started screaming. What are you doing here? You jinx. Get out. She snatched an apple from the table and threw it at me. I didn't dodge. It hit my forehead, a sharp sting of pain. I looked at her and smiled. Mom, I'm leaving tomorrow. I came to say goodbye. My words stopped her cold. She stared at me, her expression complicated. Leaving? Where do you think you can go? She sneered. You think going abroad will let you get rid of me? I'm telling you, Lun Yan, you will always be my daughter. My blood runs in your veins. Don't even think about cutting ties with me as long as you live. My aunt chimed in from the side. That's right. Don't you forget who wiped your ass and raised you. Now that you think you're grown, you want to disown your own mother? Have you no conscience? Lin Yu also spoke up timidly. Sister, auntie, she really misses you. What a ridiculous family. Still putting on a show, even now. I didn't come here to fight with you today. I took a document out of my bag and placed it on the table. This is a disownment agreement. I've already signed it. Once you sign it, we'll go our separate ways and have nothing more to do with each other. The three of them were stunned. They probably never expected I would be so ruthless. My mom was the first to react. Like a madwoman, she lunged forward and tore the agreement to shreds. Disownment? In your dreams. I'm telling you, Lun Yan, I will never agree to this, not even if I die. She suddenly rushed into the kitchen. When she came back out, she was holding a kitchen knife. She pointed it at me, her eyes bloodshot, her face contorted with rage. You think you're all grown up now? This is all your fault. You've ruined this family. Your dad divorcing me, your uncle getting arrested, it's all because of you, you jinx. And now you think you can just walk away? No way. She advanced on me step by step, the tip of the knife glinting coldly. Today, you either leave me all the money for your study abroad, or I'm taking you down with me. I gave you life, and I can take it away. Her ugly true colors were finally on full display. She didn't love me. She only loved what I was worth to her. The moment I lost my value, or refused to be used by her, I became her greatest enemy. I looked at Lin Yu. And you, Lin Yu. Did you think you could do what you did without anyone finding out? To get the spot in the student exchange program, you anonymously reported me to the school, accusing me of academic fraud and misconduct. Did you really think I wouldn't know? The color drained from Lin Yu's face. I didn't. No? I took out my phone and played a recording. It was a call between her and a friend. That idiot really thinks I'm being nice to her. Once I get the spot and go abroad, who's even going to remember who she is? Lin Yu collapsed to the floor, speechless. I casually forwarded the recording to Shinzhou with a single line of text. Your new girlfriend is quite the schemer. My aunt was dumbfounded, her body trembling with rage. You little, you. I watched this chaotic scene, feeling nothing inside. Facing the knife in my mom's hand, I didn't back away. Instead, I took a step forward, offering my neck. Go on, I said, looking calmly into her crazed eyes. Didn't you say you regretted not strangling me? Here's your chance. Stab me right here. It'll solve everything. Then you can go demand a huge sum for emotional damages from my dad. You could even blackmail Uncle Wang for the rest of your life. My mom was stunned by my actions. The hand holding the knife began to tremble. She kept cursing under her breath, but she didn't dare actually stab me. That's the kind of person she was, all bark and no bite, preying on the weak and fearing the strong. I pushed her knife-wielding hand aside and walked out that door without a second thought. Behind me, I could hear her impotent shrieks and the sound of things being smashed. I didn't look back. I knew that my life was only just beginning.